Hi, welcome to the Let's Talk Town movie podcast. Today's episode is about Vetrimaran and Danish's Aadukalam. Aadukalam? Do
Yeah.
we know how to pronounce this movie?
So the movie came out in 2011 when we were much younger. We would have seen the movie in a different way than we see it now.
I agree with the whole we watched it when we were like
Yeah.
young. It did come out like 9 years ago, so I used to go around and say like I really liked this film, but when I watched it the second time around, I was like, I did not pay attention to the first time I watched it. Like actual story and everything. I didn't even know half the things that happened in the movie actually happened.
Yeah,
And I went
same.
around saying, oh yeah, this is my favorite movie, everyone. But yeah, second time around, much more appreciated. The story was like insanely good. Describe the movie.
The movie is a rural-based story in Madurai, and there's loads of different characters in it, but obviously the main one is Dhanush, and it's about how he trains roosters for a bird fight.
Mhm.
And obviously the movie isn't completely based on that, but it's around like the relationship between him and his teacher and his other friends who do the same thing for a living. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we could talk about the cast. So it has a big cast.
Oh, I don't think it had a big cast,
I mean,
to be
like,
honest.
it's not like,
It was like
yeah,
it was basically Dhanush and then
yeah,
Tapsi, Kishore, and then what's his name? His name was Vis Jayapalan
yeah.
and Naren. I think that's all it was. To be
But
very honest.
first few minutes, you
Oh
just, when they introduce people, you
yeah,
just this person, this person, this person. So it feels like it's a lot, kind of like I mean, it felt like Radha, but Radha had way more, obviously.
yeah. But I think with Radhachandran, he introduced each character, right?
Yeah,
That everyone that came on screen was introduced, but this film didn't have that. Yeah, I think Dhanush pulled off this role. It's a lot of hard work, but I think he pulled it off very easily. Like he was so convincing that he was someone that was from Madura who
yeah,
does all these fights and everything. So it was like very convincing how he pulled it off. Tapsi, I think this was her first Tamil movie.
yeah.
So you can't really like judge what she did because she got the smallest role out of everybody.
But she did like what she did well, I guess.
I heard that Treya or Trisha had to play the role first and then they
Yeah,
like opted out. So I'm not
yeah,
too sure how true that is, but that's what I
mm,
heard. But Tapsi has a really good career now. She's
yeah.
had some like I think so far I've watched a couple of her films and like you should honestly watch it. Like she's done some really good work
Yeah.
after Article.
Some of the people in this movie are always in Vetrimaran's movies. They have like a main role, pretty much every movie, I think, in Polladavan, Aadukalam.
Side characters?
Yeah, the guy who came in Big Boss.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was here, the comedy part, I guess. But he's been in he was in that movie too, from what I remember. And
Felt like the cast was a small cast, but like
yeah, actually, yeah,
each
I think so.
character played such a huge role. Like I didn't feel like anyone was kind of like pushed aside. They kept coming back in the film, or they did still do something important. Like V.I.S. Jayapalan, he was playing Garden, and his wife, like she was basically a side character, but at the end of the movie, like what
Yeah,
she did was still something like you were like, oh, this still affected Garden
yeah,
at the end of the day,
yeah.
right?
I
So it was
mean,
like
yeah.
it wasn't something that oh like she's always just kind of in the background. It was never like that.
Even like most of the scenes, any other characters that you thought were quite good?
I think the Narain as Ratnasamy was I like that character. Like I didn't know he was a cop and he was
Yeah,
doing these like rooster fights. I didn't know that the
yeah,
first time I watched it, so I was so confused. This time I was like, wait, what? He's setting up these fights, but the police are still like chasing them. That was kind of like, whoa, unexpected. But I liked his character. I thought like he did a good job. But then the rest of the movie, I was like, where is he? Yeah, the movie, like the entire movie, just changed after the half.
yeah. I mean, I was expecting him to be like one of the main people throughout the whole thing.
I was expecting him to do something crazy at the end, but then he just didn't come.
The movie did gain so many awards. For sure, they did win 6 national awards, and that
Wow.
was for it wasn't for just like one thing, but it's like Vetrimaran got it for direction, Dhanush got it for acting, and then even for editing. We didn't really talk about editing, but
But this was like Vetrimaran's second movie, and he already like got like national awards for
yeah.
this.
because they did research and stuff. They went to Madurai and actually did live there and stuff for like 3 years, so he could make the movie seem really realistic rather than just assume stuff.
But I also heard, like, in one of the interviews, Vetrimaran says how, like, the first thing he's ever written was, like, Vardachana, and then, like, all the movies he's done from, like, the beginning of his career are just, like, chapters of the first story he's ever wrote, and then he took it from there. So I don't know, like, what he meant by saying, oh, it was, like, a huge book I did, and then I'm just taking the chapters one by one.
Okay.
I'm not sure how Aadukalam and Poladavid fit into his one book.
And it did, like, even for the guy who did Birthday Garden, he got a big role. I mean, he got a special jury award as well. I mean, pretty much even Topsy got best debut actress from a Vijay Award.
And also, one thing that, like, when watching this film is it was 2011 movie. The graphics were not that great. The
Oh yeah,
birds are kind of weak, but it's fine. You just have to accept
yeah,
it and just
yeah.
watch the film.
So I was
Yeah.
wondering how they would actually show the birds are fighting, because obviously they can't just have birds fighting. But
Yeah.
when they used the CGI, yeah. Like first I was like, this isn't that great, but then I remembered, yeah, it was 2011, so
Yeah, you just. But no, like some of the scenes, I thought they were actual real birds. Not like when he's carrying the birds, but like
yeah,
some shots were like actual two birds like standing there.
yeah, I did feel
And then
like
the
that, yeah,
rest would like they'll flip from like real birds to like CGI within like every two shots, and it's just
yeah,
like okay, it makes it more visible how bad the CGI
yeah,
actually is.
yeah,
Yeah, that was one thing I was like, oh, what's happening here?
yeah.
But real question is, this movie came out in 2011. Is that why it did good? Like, if it came now, would it still have won all these national awards?
Yeah, that's a good question. I know it would have done well the way the movie is, but national awards, I'm not sure. Maybe it would have got. I don't know if it would have got six. You haven't watched Asuran, but if it doesn't get at least one, then that might mean that Aadukalam wouldn't have got one if it
Right, if it was
released.
released now.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, so I can't really like speak on that.
And G.V. Prakash did win awards for music, so we could talk about what we thought of the background music and songs.
Oh, okay. The title, like when the first, yeah, the title sequence,
Ooh,
the BGM
yeah,
was great.
yeah.
I didn't pay attention to the BGM the rest of the movie, but it was like, yeah, I couldn't pay attention. I was like, I just need to see what's happening right now,
Yeah.
but I'm not too sure. Did you like the BGM?
Yeah, I think maybe it was just like he wanted to make sure it suited the mood of whatever was happening, so he
Oh, okay.
didn't really make like massive sounds or anything. It was just like
Oh,
there
yeah,
to
probably.
accompany the scenes, I guess. So
I did not know. So Yogi B did like this amazing song in it,
yeah,
but I did not know there was an English version of that song. Like I listened to the Tamil version too many times that when I tried to listen to the English version, I was like, oh, I like the Tamil version so much better.
yeah.
But that's just based on like what I've been listening too much to.
I mean, even most Yate Yate and Otta Solale are like super popular because people still
Yeah.
listen to it now. But then there was that one song. I did think there was a song there, but I didn't know it was like this song existed.
Oh, the
Yeah,
yeah, the Vanilla song,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah.
Did you know that the guy who played Pete Garden is actually the one who wrote the lyrics for that song? When I was
Ooh,
watching, I was like, what? Where was I when this song actually played in the movie?
yeah. Oh, and Snehan did the lyrics for that and Yate Yate. So
Oh, really?
yeah, we're big boss. We're big boss
Yeah.
fans. So we
No,
know.
we're not. No, we're not. We just know, but we're not big fans. Any of your favorite scenes? Like one scene that was just like, oh, I love this scene. Anything that stood out to you?
Whenever they have like a ad on TV for Aadukalam,
Hmm.
there's this one scene I always remember is when Topsy's like, "Are you crazy? What, what's your problem? What do you want?" And then he says, "KP Karappu." One of
Oh,
this,
this
yeah,
is when she says like, "Oh, come to my house," and then he actually
yeah,
comes
yeah.
there.
Come to my house or something, and then he ends
Yeah.
up going to his friend, and then his friend's like, yeah,
Okay. Oh yeah, and his friend's like,
yeah.
she just insulted you. Okay. Well, that was kind of weird. Um, my favorite scene was when Petakaran goes to the police station and he asks for like, oh, can we get permission to do this fight? And then he kind of like gives him attitude or something. And they zoom out of the shot and then they go to the front part of the police station and you'll see like the office and it shakes. I thought that was a
Oh
good
yeah,
scene. Like
yeah,
it's basically to say like, hey, like they just fought each other or like he got punched or whatever.
yeah,
But it was like such an easy way to say, yeah, he just got beat up. There was
yeah.
no fight sequence. There was no like,
Yeah, saves time, and it
yeah,
doesn't like we don't actually have to see an old man getting beaten up or anything.
yeah, exactly. And it just like got straight to the point. And I was like, it's not a important part of the movie at
Yeah,
all. It did nothing for the movie, but I thought that scene was like done so well. I was like, I loved it. And the police officer walks out like holding his wrist, and I was like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
incredible. That just like got to the point right away. You didn't need any like voiceovers to explain that. You just got it.
Yeah, my favorite scene would be when Danush doesn't give up on his rooster, and he just like he has like full confidence on it that he would win regardless of however
Oh
strong
yeah.
the opponent's rooster is, even though yeah, even though they were clearly cheating or whatever, but yeah, I just liked how he had confidence in his rooster, even though it's just a bird to like other people's eyes.
Right. I think for in that scene, the last part, I was actually kind of like nervous. I was like, whoa, I don't believe in this anymore. It's not
Yeah,
gonna go through. So yeah, I'll agree. Yeah, for sure. That was a huge part of the movie as
I
well.
know there's like so many things going on. Like
Yeah.
obviously he was like he wants to win. Some of them are like he's gonna lose, and then there's another person who like some of them we weren't even sure if they wanted him to win or not.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was like it was easily the turning point of the movie. It's what
yeah,
flipped the movie
yeah,
into two parts.
yeah. And it's kind of like after that scene where the Ratnasamy doesn't really have anything to do in the movie, so
Yeah. No,
it's just
actually
like
they show him like the bet they made, him and
yeah,
Vetikare.
yeah,
Like he goes through with the bet and then
yeah,
that's it. You don't see him after all.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Any other good scenes that you have in mind?
I think one of the good scenes was between when Danush and Kishore were fighting in like at dark or something, where he was basically Danush was riding his bike and then Kishore came from the back and then they physically started like being violent.
Oh yeah,
I thought those were the shots were done good. I don't know if it was good for the movie, but I thought it was good.
yeah,
Majority of the fight was kind of realistic in a sense. Like no one had Super Saiyan powers. Yeah, I thought that was good.
yeah. It was like really realistic, like I said. Um, well, even today, like yeah, Kisho. First I thought he was gonna turn into like the bad guy at the beginning. 'Cause I was like he might be jealous or something, and then it turns out to be good, I guess. So like
But
so
so far,
yeah.
I don't. Sorry to interrupt, but so far from the movies he's done with Vetrimaran, he hasn't played a bad character.
Yeah, it's like it's not like he's evil. He might be like in the bad or something, but it's not like he's one of the people who intentionally wants to like do wrong stuff to people or anything. It's just like someone else convinces him to do something, or like the situation changes, so he has to like go against the hero or whatever.
Yeah, he has to react to it.
Yeah.
I think he played a good role too, and he pulled it off very well as well. Okay, so anything else you want to go back to really quickly? Oh, and also like again with like the cast and how Vetrimaran doesn't change majority of his people,
Yeah.
right? Like he brought wait no, so actually Capsy was dubbed by Andrea,
Andrea, and then yeah.
and then Kishore was dubbed. Kishore does his own dubbing for the rest of his movies. It's just this movie he got someone to kind to do it.
Yeah.
And then VIS Jaybalan got Radha VS his
Yeah,
personification.
I didn't notice that. The
Oh
rather, I don't know, maybe I just
yeah,
wasn't like thinking about it much.
I literally started the movie and I was like, wait, I know this voice. Okay, so now do you want to talk about the scenes where you're like, what's happening here?
I just have the ending in mind where I was just like, did he kill him because you want? I mean, did it happen because you wanted it to happen, or?
I don't know what that was. The ending, it was just like kind of felt like Victor Martin was like, "Huh, finish your story by yourself," type of thing. It was like
Yeah.
it also made like you think about the movie even though you're done watching it. So I was like, okay, that makes sense in a director's perspective to like get the audience engaged, but I don't know the answer to that. Like, why did Peter even do that? Like, even Dhanush like mentions, right? Like, if we walk out, it's gonna be embarrassing. So
Yeah.
was that the cause, or like did he recognize himself something else and he was like, oh, can't do this?
So he clearly has too much pride. That was like the main reason the whole movie even
Yeah,
happened. Like the story's
yeah,
about him having too much pride, I guess. But
too much ego.
yeah, pretty
Yeah, and his
much.
ego got hurt like like in the half of the movie got hurt, and
Yeah.
then the rest of the movie is just how it affected everything else.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was the money.
Yeah.
So I don't want to talk about like how he got the money, but basically, I did not know that at the end of the movie he gives the money away again. Did you know that?
Wait, what do you mean?
He gives it to his friend, to his other friend.
Oh, did he? I don't remember that. I just remember giving it once.
So in the end of the scene, he
Yeah.
sees the money, and then at the very end, he's like, he doesn't have it with him because he gave it away.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? The whole point of the end is that to leave everything behind, but he's just like actually left everything behind. Yeah, yeah,
Danush? Wait,
yeah.
what?
Gave
What's
it
that?
to his friend,
Oh,
like the friend that he hangs out with the entire
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, he
good.
gave it.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, he was actually like he played a like I didn't take him seriously
Yeah.
until he started like stating his opinions, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, he's actually like doing a lot of things.
Yeah, he isn't just like one of those useless fun characters who
Yeah,
come and just
and
listen.
he
Yeah.
supported like Dhanush throughout the bird fights and everything.
I mean, when you look at it, in most of, I mean, even in Polladan, Vetriman, like, whenever there's a hero, he does have, like, Dhanush has good friends, regardless of what happens. Like, even in Polladan,
Uh,
yeah. And,
what else was there? Oh, again with the whole Ratanasamy, like he just left halfway through the movie. There was not even like a single dialogue about him after. They spent so much time on him throughout like the beginning. He got like scenes to himself in the beginning of the movie, and then you're just gonna cut a whole person out like that. And his family too. His mom was gone. Like we didn't
yeah, his
hear
mom
nothing
was
about
like,
her.
first I was like, wow, this mom's a bit crazy, but
She did. I don't know if she was crazy though. She was like, her son's disappointing her, and she's like, let's do something. Yeah, like by the end of it, I felt like he was so pressured to win that he started doing extreme things. Like he
yeah,
wasn't doing extreme things before. He just kind of like, whoa, I'm kind of concerned about my mom. Have to do
yeah.
this. He kind of
And
got
he kind of,
stressed.
yeah, yeah. Before I felt like he actually, the first when I first started watching it, I thought he was actually into this, and he just like liked the game
Yeah.
a lot or something, and then you realize clearly doesn't
No,
like
because
it.
he wasn't playing the game dirty before. He was like
Yeah,
following the
yeah.
rules. He was
That's
doing
why I
his thing,
thought
and
he
then
liked it. Yeah,
yeah, and then his mom stressed him out, and then he's like, "Oh man,
poor
I have to
guy.
take, I have to do things now." There's something else about him. I was like, "Yo, this guy's hilarious." The bet they made was that like the first time you lose in 10. Wait, what was the bet? It was the first time you lose
So
in
I was
10 games.
like, so the bet was that if birthday gardens like, and if his roosters lost, he
Mhm.
would have to like shave his mustache and like his head, and
Yeah,
then like fall
but
onto
he
the other
said
guy's
the
skin. Yeah.
same goes to you. He said that.
But I think
Did he
by
not?
that, yeah, by that I think that meant if we won even one game, because
Out of
like
10.
yeah, because Patrick Garden like always wins, so that's why they like he challenged him to only win once against him, and
I was so confused. I was like, wait, the first game is done. and this guy's not keeping up his bet. Why is he not keeping it up?
Yeah, it
And
was
then he did it
one. It's
after the
like
10th, and I was like, what? Yeah, so even the second time around, I had a lot of what's happening here. Yeah, but for sure, the first time I watched it, I don't know what I was watching. The only scenes I remember is the beginning, halfway, and then at the very end. That's all I remember. And I was like, oh yeah, I love Aadukalam. It's one of my favorite Vegemite Darsha's movies. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying before, but it still is. It's still easily one of the top movies.
say you watch a movie and you don't know like how it did or like anything or like what other people thought. You'll just watch it and
Mhm.
like actually like think something. But when you
Yeah.
know it won awards or something, you'll try to like find
Make yourself
re
like it.
yeah, and you try
Yeah.
to find reasons for why it would have won these awards.
Oh, right, right. That makes sense. So do you think you know why Aadukalam won so many awards, or is it still kind of like, oh, it was a good film overall?
Yeah, I think it was a good film overall. Like we can like say what we liked about it, but we don't choose who wins or
Final thoughts. Final thoughts is I think Aadukalam was a very well-rounded film. It had good aspects throughout, like
Yep,
whether it's like how it was written, how it was like, what is it? How the camera work was done, the music, the
yep.
cast,
Editing.
everything. Yeah, everything just fell into place with this film. Majority of these actors have really good stuff behind them as well now.
Yeah.
They've all done like great work. So final thoughts on is I really like this film. Definitely watch it a second time. If you watched it when it came out in 2011, just go watch it again.
Yeah.
The story makes much more sense now, for me at
90s.
least. Yeah, for me at least, like definitely a second time
Yeah, same.
around, I was like
Yeah.
mind blown. I was like, whoa.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did not know like the turning point of the movie when I first watched it. I can't, like you said, I can't explain why it won so many awards.
Yeah.
I'm questioning if it came now, would it even do this good? What were your final thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much the same as in yeah, it was an amazing movie. West Martin did really well. I mean all
Oh,
the actors did too. When you watch it, you know it's more than just birds fighting each other or whatever.
oh, the whole irony of the film is like
Yeah.
birds fighting, but actually like humans fighting, like
Yeah,
human
it's like
personalities, human
yeah,
characteristics that are
yeah.
like clashing. So yeah, I thought that was cool irony, but yeah.
So I think that's it for today's podcast. Next week we're going to talk about our favorite comedies, some movies that make us laugh and are entertaining overall. So we'll just go through whatever our favorites are and just say what we liked about them and try to recommend them to you. And do tweet us and a new podcast every Monday.